Hello players, and welcome to this channel. Today we are going to talk about the game Hero Wars. I know you know that the game developed by Nexters has been in operation since 2016 and is enduring. So I'm not going to talk about the things that ChatGPT knows. Let's get straight to the key question. What does this game rely on to attract players? This is a problem that needs to be solved by any successful game, and the solutions to it vary widely. But what they all have in common is that they capture players on both a sensory and psychological level. Specific to Hero Wars, they have commendable performances on both levels. First of all, let's start it on the sensory level. Well, look at these big-headed, adorable heroes. Their images can capture the players' attention from the first time they are exposed to the game's advertisement. Once players start playing the game, they can also save skin stones or pay real money to unlock more skins for each hero, which will keep the game fresh. After unlocking these skins, players can also use skin stones to continuously upgrade the stats of these skins, which converts the time and the money invested by players into marginal returns. To make this reward even more valuable, the developers also stipulate that the stat bonuses of all unlocked skins can be stacked on the corresponding hero, giving players the freedom to change their outfits at will. Similar clever designs can be found everywhere in the game, and it's fair to say that this game does a pretty good job of being sensually pleasing. Now let's take a look at the game design on psychological level, which need to be deeply decoded. But don't worry, I'm only going to talk about the subject of investment and return this time. And the principle is actually very simple. That is, investment activities can only be sustained when the return can satisfy the investors. So, the various settings made by the developers for this game are based on this principle. The investors here naturally refer to the players, and there are two forms of their investment. One is real money, and the other is playtime. Real money corresponds to the entrance to purchase emeralds and various promotions in the game, and the playtime corresponds to various login bonus entrances in the game, such as the full month login bonuses and the current event reward here. From an investment point of view, these entrances make an investment return outlook on the amount of money and time spent by players and the resource rewards in the game, in order to let players know how much resource return they will get by investing different amounts of money and playtime. But the problem is that what players want is not the game resources themselves, but the power advantage that these resources can be exchanged for. However, the developers can't directly put a price tag on power advantage, which would only turn the game into a power auction house, and no one will want to play it anymore. Therefore, they have done a lot of resource differentiation in the game. See, there are equipment, fragments, recipes, consumables, coins, battle flag patterns, soul stones, and so on. Each of these resources has its own unique use, but ultimately all of them are tied to power, and at the same time, most of these resources are also tied to various coins needed to purchase them, and the sources of these coins are basically tied to emeralds and playtime. In this way, there is a rough conversion relationship between power and investment, so that players can see the investment prospects. Speaking of coins, I have to mention that there are several sorts of coins in this game that are used in different stores. Sometimes you'll find that some of the stores sell the same items and the prices are the same. For example, these soul stones. So, does it still make sense to divide the coins in this case? The answer is, of course, it makes sense. Because different coins come from the rewards obtained by players for completing different tasks, and the objects of consumption are different resources. The real purpose of coins differentiation is to split the player's playtime and the resources pursued, so as to avoid players concentrating a large number of coins on a single resource, resulting in the partially discarding of the ability systems in the game. Look at how many ability systems there are in this game, and you will understand there are so many ability systems. The number is significantly more than the variety of hero stats. And this situation causes many ability systems to provide duplicate stats bonuses, and if you don't divide the coins, then the bias will happen. In addition to coins differentiation, the self-circulating mode of trading is also an important means for Hero Wars to control the in-game economy, which is manifested in the prohibition of trading and item exchange between players. Players can only obtain coins by completing corresponding tasks, and then purchase items in the store that accept that currency. The benefits of this approach are that developers have full control over the money supply of the in-game economy, control the price of all items, and provide tools for future game balance adjustments. Of course, there are disadvantages to the self-circulation, such as players not being able to get the extra income generated by selling scarce items, and the excess items cannot be converted into liquid currency, etc. In order to solve this problem, the developers have set up multiple merchants in the game who provide item trade-in services. When the number of a certain item exceeds the player's maximum needs, they can trade the item in for coins. Look here. If your heroes have reached the absolute level, then they no longer need soul stones, and the extra soul stones obtained through the soul atrium can be sold here for soul coins. Similarly, there is a merchant who repurchases Titan soul stones. There is a merchant who repurchases pet soul stones. There is a merchant who repurchases artifact fragments in Valkyrie's airship, and so on. The role of these merchants is the closing point of the self-circulation of the in-game economy, and an alternative way of money supply. And on a deeper level, they can be seen as a reward for the players who have invested enough money and playtime. In this sense, we can think of the whole gameplay as a process of investment and return. And when a player reaches the maximum level of some of the upgradable objects, they can trade their items in for resources and then use those resources to upgrade more objects. This reduces the player's stress significantly, just like what we often call financial freedom. So I see Hero Wars as an investment game. Now let me show you my own return on investment. I'm going to take my strongest hero to the grand arena for a fight. Okay, I'll stop here for the sensory pleasure and in-game economy of Hero Wars. By understanding this content, it can help us build a rational impression of the game, which can help us better plan our game resources. I will provide you with some game strategy content in future videos. I hope you can support me by subscribing and liking. Thank you for watching. See you next time.